In this video, I want to break down the latest pictures that Zack Snyder has been dropping on his Instagram. I also want to address certain events that have been happening around the fandom. And I also want to pretty much share an experience that I just had with you guys, the audience, who've been supporting us from day one. And I want to share what I have learned and the enlightenment that I have gotten between starting this journey as a podcaster to where I am right now. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's talk about it on One Shots. Welcome to One Shots, where we break down the latest breaking news, trending events, and everything pop culture. I'm your host, Sergeant Riggs. Now, before we start, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter weekend. I know I'm a little bit late for it, but I still wanted to get it out there. I hope everybody had a good time spending time with family, with your religious community, if some of you are religious and believe in God and went to church, etc. I know we live in a world where logic can sometimes take over faith. But either way, I respect everybody's points of view when it comes to that subject. But that subject's also going to be in play on this video because a lot of references that Zack Snyder has been throwing on Instagram on his images pretty much gives it away. But before we do that, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Helps us out. Also, share your comments at the end because I want your take on this because this video is going to be probably a little bit long. So if you guys are busy right now and don't have time, please stop and watch the video later when you have time because there's a lot of things that we as the Lethal Geeks need to say to clear the air a little bit because a lot of people are labeling us as certain influencers of a certain streamer, which we are not, and it's time to set the record straight. My turn. Now, before we do the breakdown of the pictures, I just want to give a shout out to Rebel Moon Theory because, again, we are all Zack Snyder fans and we support Zack Snyder regardless if it's DC projects or not. And right here, Rebel Moon Theory, he's been a loyal soldier promoting Rebel Moon consistently. And Zack showed him some love and he liked his post because it's the 2nd anniversary of Rebel Moon. So it's nice to see that Zack, comes in once in a while and shows some love to the fans who's been with him since day one. So these are the things that I like to highlight. And I know Rebel Moon Theory has been getting a lot of love from a lot of people and sharing the support from Zack. So kudos to you, my friend. That's awesome.
Spartans! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
Now, there are a lot of pictures that I am going to break down. I'm not going to break them all down, but we're going to start with this one is of the Trinity that he released, I believe, was this on Good Friday? But he released this picture showing off the Trinity. And then this one, which the references are there. You just have to see it and know what Zack is trying to tell us, what type of story he's been trying to tell us since day one. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Zack is trying to tell us the story of Christ, beginning when he came, his death, his resurrection, his fall, and then his ascension. 5 stories, 5 chapters, and we're only halfway. It's nerve-wracking that we can't get the completion of this story because, unfortunately, this topic of religion is a very sensitive topic in Hollywood. And I'm going to get into the weeds on that in a minute. But let me just show this last picture. This is the picture that he pretty much released on Resurrection Day. Superman flying in orbit. And we've seen these type of shots that he has done with Superman, with his arms extended out, representing the cross, representing Jesus Christ. And for people who don't believe in God, that's okay. You don't believe in him, I'm going to respect that. But a lot of us who do believe in a higher power, who do believe in something bigger than us, more divine than us. This is why, in my own personal opinion, I take DC very seriously. And not because it's Zack Snyder. It's because this is what DC has been about. DC has always been about gods amongst men, where Marvel is a different story. It's a different animal. That's why, as much as these freaking corporations are trying to smash them together with a crossover, it's not the same thing. These characters have different purposes of existence. They have different missions. The way that Marvel approaches its content is not the same way DC has been. Obviously, they've been trying to shoehorn it because of the certain CEO who's in DC now. But either way, this was the appropriate way to tell a DC story, because that's what it's all about. The S, hope. Jesus Christ, hope. It is unfortunate for us as a podcast and as a team, because we had faith that Netflix had it in the bag and they were ready to give us the Snyderverse back. And a lot of people keep gaslighting a lot of you guys in the audience, a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of influencers on X and YouTube and Rumble or whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, yes, they can be fans, but they did not learn the lesson, did not get the message. DC should be represented at a certain way and not compromise it. And unfortunately, DC is compromised right now. That's why every single movie that's been coming out and that is going to come out, like Supergirl, is not going to do well. It's not. I know a lot of you James Gunn fans out there, you're going to watch the movie. Go watch the movie. That's fine. I'm at a point now that I don't care. Neither of the Lethal Geeks gives a fuck what you guys want to watch. If you guys want to watch that slop, have at it. Go spend your money in theaters. But I'm not going to go watch Supergirl. I'm not going to watch any other DC project right now because I know what it is. It's crap. It's not quality. So why am I going to spend my hard-earned money on things that I know they're going to be badly written, not taking the characters seriously, and making it all a joke?
It's not fucking funny.
Now, this is something also that Zack dropped that a lot of you think it's a joke. It ain't no joke. This picture right here, and Zack wrote it right here on the top. Oops, you fucked up. With a hashtag.
He said it. He said it.
Don't you think, guys, it's a little weird that he censored the F word with the hashtag? Please sit down for a minute and use your brain and think. Why would Zack use a hashtag on this post with Henry Cavill, with Clark Kent, when he had the beer? What does this picture represent? You guys aren't stupid. A lot of you like to pretend you're stupid, but you're not. What you guys are, a lot of you out there are sellouts.
I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Dog's gotta eat, right?
That's what you are. Because it's all about the clout. It's all about the monetization. It's all about the clicks. Do you really think we give a shit about that? No, we don't. What we cared about is the truth, doing the right thing. And we got a lot of pushback from a lot of people that, oh, why you guys aren't helping with the Paramount deal? Because we don't believe in Paramount, period. Plain and simple. We don't believe Paramount is the right call. And we know now that Paramount has secured the money with the Saudis. Vote, I think, is now this month in April, mid-April, I don't remember. And rumor has it, if they can speed this up, they're going to be able to have this deal closed by July. We've told you why they want to do this. I'm not going to repeat myself anymore. You guys know why they are trying to rush this shit fast. And Paramount does not have the money. And trust me, even though there are articles out there that are saying that, no, these Saudi investors are not going to have a say.
Right.
Really? You really believe that? You really think for them, maybe it's not about money? Maybe they don't want their money back. Maybe they want something else. Paramount's going to own CNN. And CNN is global. A lot of you need to also realize that just because things work in a certain way in the United States doesn't mean it's going to work on a different country. Like I said, the Saudis have a lot of money to wipe their ass with. They are going to get something out of this deal. Make no mistake of that. They are getting something. And it probably won't be dollars and cents, at least not at the beginning, because we already know now that Ellison's plan is to own everything, sell all the assets, try to recoup as much money as possible, and start from scratch, consolidate as much power as possible. Basically, you're going to have a Marvel situation now with Paramount. Remember when Marvel was selling all their IPs, when they sold the X-Men, Hulk, Spider-Man, Daredevil, whatever. And it took them how long to get all the rights back? Because Sony still owns Spider-Man, the movie rights at least. That's where this is going with DC. I hope I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on camera right here and say, you know what, guys? I was wrong. Rox was wrong. Charles was wrong. The Lethal Geeks were wrong. Because unlike other influencers, we're not afraid to own our mistakes. And we've made mistakes. We've made a lot of mistakes. But this one right here with the hashtag, no, that was not our mistake. Why do you think Zack was posting consistently DC? Not just for the anniversary of his movies. Why do you think Netflix did this? Because this image right here, a lot of influencers are playing dumb. Very fucking dumb. Oh, no, it's AI made. No, they didn't mean anything about it.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Huh? Think, McFly, think.
They put the Snyderverse front and center with their logo and WBs. And you're telling me this wasn't their plan? Netflix is not part of the old Hollywood system. This is why they don't give a shit about the narrative and politics and all that shit. They don't care. They don't care. They're data-driven. They saw that we, the fans, have been banging the drums for years because we want this story finished. We want Zack to finish his story. And we believe that Netflix, we still believe, that's not going to change. We still believe that Netflix was the right call. Now, if Paramount decides to throw this fandom a bone, great, awesome. But I'm still not going to campaign for it. I'm still not going to raise my voice and say, oh, Paramount, yes, give us a Snyderverse. No, I'm not going to. Not going to. I'm not going to. Here's the thing. I am not going to betray my beliefs, my convictions, and neither is Charles and neither is Rox, because some things are not meant to be. Paramount is not the right entity because we know of all the baggage going on behind the scenes. And again, we're not going to rehash our political position on that. We're not going to. You guys know our position, so we can leave that aside. If you guys want to recap on that, go check our previous videos. But we are not going to bend the knee.
Such an offer, only a madman would refuse. But the idea of kneeling, it's, you see, slaughtering all those men of yours has it's left a nasty cramp in my leg, so kneeling will be hard for me.
We have done a lot to support this fandom. Out of our own pocket, took a lot of energy, took a lot of our fucking time. And the fact that the majority of you guys out there just don't care because unfortunately you guys are. Here's the thing. The majority of you folks, including myself, because I am human too, humans are afraid of change. Humans fear what they don't know. They fear the unknown. You guys are so stuck in the past that physical media, theaters, you guys need to evolve. We're in the 21st century now. Am I saying theater's going to die? Probably. I give it 20 more years. 20 more years. Because it's all going to be AI. Because they're already conditioning us to accept AI shit. They already are. So you guys can put your head on the sand as much as you want. It's going to happen. And I'm sorry that maybe we failed you guys. Maybe we failed you on maybe we weren't clear enough. Maybe the message didn't spread out loud enough. I don't know. But I feel like we did our part to do what's right for the DC brand and the Snyder fandom. I also want to give a shout out to Skywalker the Jedi and the Cell movement, Cool Table. Those guys got so much shit. And I'm here to tell those guys, thank you. Sky, thank you for giving this fandom hope, for sticking to your guns, didn't compromise. And even when you had the worst of the worst going after you, you stood your ground. And honestly, we should all be grateful. We should all be grateful, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have gotten right here and gotten this freaking image from Netflix with the Snyderverse.
This is great.
Now, I want to share with you guys why I believe we're not going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 yet.
What?
There's a reason why. We've already told you, we've gone this rabbit hole with you guys, so I'm going to close it with this. Mel Gibson is doing the Resurrection of the Christ now. He's filming the movie now. And I already showed you with the images where Zack was going. Zack was telling Christ's story, Jesus Christ's story, through DC mythology. Why do you think the Passion of the Christ got so much resistance? And it's not me, it's Joe. Don't believe me?
It was a great movie, but it seemed like there was resistance to that movie.
Oh yeah, no, there was,
which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it. It seemed like
there was a lot of opposition to it.
A lot of opposition to it. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like a certain movie that we had a campaign for God knows how long to get, and now it exists?
That actually makes sense.
We've told you before, guys, Hollywood does not make movies randomly. They do movies to program us, to prepare us for events in the future. That's what happens. That's the Hollywood machine. It's not just about, oh, a great movie, yeah, let's have fun. No. Every single fucking movie has a message. Every single one. All movies are made with a purpose and a message and a seed to be planted in our subconscious. Okay? This is why Zack Snyder cannot, not that he doesn't want to, not they won't let it. Now they can't not let him do that movie, because we have to go through this first. The world is not ready to see Darkseid show up and destroy the whole freaking planet, even though, if you think about it, it's kind of happening right now with the wars going on and the fires going on in forests. All this shit is happening now. Okay? So this is why we're not going to get ZSJL 2 and 3 yet. I understand that a lot of you out there are not religious believers, and that's okay. Like I said, I respect your beliefs, but this is the theory that I have, and I've shared this with Rox, that we're not going to get ZSJL because Mel has to do the resurrection first. After the resurrection, yeah, we'll get ZSJL 2 3, because the resurrection, it's a 2-part movie. The Fall of the Angels, The Last Apostle, ZSJL 2, ZSJL 3. Make sense? Now, also, we know that Warner Media used the Snyder Cut to promote HBO Max, because yes, we're not stupid. They released the movie, besides from the pressure of the fans, it's because they needed content, because COVID happened. If some of you haven't forgotten about that, we had a pandemic and we were locked down for God knows how long. And that's why they released the Snyder Cut, out of desperation for content. This is why also they tried to bury the Snyder Cut as much as they could. No publicity, no interviews with major outlets. This is why Zack had to go on his own to small YouTubers. A lot of you that pretty much watch us that got to get high out of getting Zack Snyder. But now when things turn around, you guys stab in the back.
You can go fuck yourself.
Yes, I said it. Stabbed him in the back. Because Zack has been teaching us from day one, never give in. Don't compromise your beliefs.
You could give one piece of advice to yourself in your early career, what would it be?
There's so many things, but I think it would just be to, don't compromise, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not.
Just like Leonidas. Leonidas did not bend the knee to Xerxes, and neither will we, the Lethal Geeks. Now, before I close this video, I want to also share an experience that I had recently, because again, I have become a man of faith. And ever since I've always believed in God. I just wasn't practicing. I was raised Catholic, and now through the last couple of months, I've considered myself a Christian now, more Christian than Catholic. I pray, I go to mass, and also I follow the teachings that this DC content, not only that Zack has been giving us, but also prior content of DC, the good type of stuff, has motivated me to actually lead by example. What do I mean by this? I've started now to help people randomly in the street. I just went to Colombia recently, and I fed 70 families. And I'm going to show you pictures in a minute, but I want to share, why am I sharing this experience with you? Because again, Zack has been, through his storytelling, teaching us how to be better human beings, how to find inspiration from those heroes that we love, that we find them iconic, that they're gods to us. So how do you honor those gods, those myths, those characters that we cherish? You do the right thing. What would Superman do? What would Batman do? What would Wonder Woman do? So that's the lesson that I've been doing now. I'm not wasting my time on social media trying to gaslight all of you guys out there so you guys can follow a certain narrative because it's convenient for their employers. We don't work for nobody. We're not getting paid for this. This is, we get out on this, we get out here on this podcast because we love this shit. We are passionate fans. Yes, we are Zack Snyder fans, but we're also DC fans. And it's okay to be both. I can be both a Zack Snyder and a DC fan. And I can also critique Zack's work and praise it as well. One thing doesn't take the other. They go together. Now, one of the reasons also why it took me a while to reply to all this, because again, I was in Colombia, and I'll show you right here the pictures. I went to a small town in Colombia called Chinchina, roughly about 50,000 people. Why did I do this? Because someone dear to me had a dream and dreamt that I went to her town and I fed homeless kids. And again, I just converted myself as a Christian, so I'm really fresh when it comes to this religious thing. Okay, so why did I do this? Because I felt a need to prove myself that I can be better. I can be a Superman in real life. Because while a lot of people are fighting online for certain movies, instead of fighting for movies right now, instead of campaigning for the bad guys, because that's what's happening. You guys are campaigning for the bad guys. And again, if we're wrong, I'll own it. Ask yourselves, of all the YouTubers you guys follow, how many of them have apologized when they've gotten it wrong? How many of them have gotten in camera and pretty much say, you know what, my mistake, I was misinformed, I was wrong, I apologize to you guys, the audience. Count the YouTubers that you guys have heard that from. Right there, I'm with the priest of the church, and I sponsored 70 meals for 70 families. And why did I wear the Superman shirt? Because I know what the S stands for. Hope. Instead of fighting now on YouTube, I'm gonna go actually follow Zack's teachings, the content that he's been showing us, teaching us, all the comments that I've read from DC about heroes doing the right thing, the age of heroes. The age of heroes is us, the fans. If we love this content so much and we're passionate, but we actually know what the content actually means, not just a flyby like James Gunn does with goofy shit. No, the actual meaning of being a hero. If you know what that means and you feel it in your gut, then you are a true DC fan. I consider myself a DC fan and a Zack Snyder fan by heart. So if I can't get the movies now, that's fine. I'm going to go help people out in the world because that's what Superman would do. So ask yourself this question, guys. Do you guys rather listen and follow a YouTube channel from a certain state who can't afford his own Jordans, who gaslights, who purges his audience, or the actual YouTuber who's being straight up with you guys, honest, and showing you receipts of the good that we as a podcast can do? We went to New York and we protested against James Gunn's Superman. I can throw a lot of other examples, but again, you guys can go back to the videos and check them out. But bottom line, guys, we are sticking our ground. If you guys want to campaign for Paramount, have at it. We're not moving a damn finger because I'm not going to betray my beliefs. And we're still going to be around. The Lethal Geeks, we're not going anywhere. Like I said, if Netflix might actually come back later. Maybe Paramount will sell them the IP because Paramount needs money. They don't have money for production. They're laying off people. They already said they want to do everything with AI. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we're just going to watch and see how things play out. So guys, what's your take on all this? Do you guys agree with our point of view? Do you guys agree with the pictures of Zack Snyder's post with the hashtag? Was that pretty much a slap in the face to a lot of people who didn't get on board with Netflix? Let's just lay it out. Lay out all your opinions on the comments because we will read them. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on One Shots.